Hi, Peter. I happen to know you're very deeply interested in project management for product development of medical devices. In fact, you are the author of the project management course for product development of medical devices on 𝗱𝗲𝘃𝗶𝗰𝗋.com, right? A curious question, why do medical device product development projects finish late? Because I have some experience or bad experience of that.
Yeah.
Any thoughts?
And when you set me up for this, you said something about a short discussion, but this could go on for a very, very long time, right? Most projects fail, to be honest. That's just the truth. If you are going to become a project manager, count on failing a few times. But there are some things that are particularly important, I think. And today my plan is to give you one aspect. It's not specific to medical devices. It's a generic issue that happens, and I think you might have a few experiences of this as well.
Could it be?
It is that someone,
stay away from software. Could that be the answer?
Yeah. No, well, no, not necessarily. Stay away from color screens. If you do a color screen, it will never finish, right? Because when you have 2 weeks left, someone comes and says, I want there to be a full online course on how to use the device on screen as well, and you have 2 weeks left. You didn't take that into account on your hardware, your resolution on the screen, or anything. Color screens are detrimental to schedule or meeting the schedule.
You agree
with that, right?
I do.
But getting to one of the most common reasons why projects fails is that early estimates of the duration becomes the truth. So someone in management, like a product manager or sponsor, says, "Oh, Christian, how much time do you think this will take to complete?" And you're going to say, well, that's hard to say. We haven't done the planning yet. And then they say, well, you need to give me something, otherwise we can't start the project. So you say, I think 12 months. Yeah. And now, guess what? This project will finish in 12 months, right? And even if you come back and say that well, it could even be shortened. That could also happen, that they start by saying, nah, you don't need 12 months. You can do it in 10, right? No, I don't think so. Oh, you can do it in 10. And it just spreads.
So yeah. Cutting the timeline, yes.
They cut it short. Yeah, they cut it short. But still, then when you do the proper planning, you discover that this is going to take 18 months, and they threw in a number of extra features and things. So now you're up to 20 months, and your estimate might have been optimistic already in the first place. So now the expectations in the steering group or management might be 8 to 10 months, like that discussion, while your plan indicates 20. So now you have 2 times that time. So the issue is that the early estimates that you haven't thought through properly becomes the truth in the organization, and they spread like wildfire, and they're super difficult to change. Everyone's mind is going to be set on that first early estimate. Doomed to fail. Have you tried it?
Is it okay if I don't answer the question? So,
yeah.
Put it that way, yeah. In my consultancy experience or background, I definitely have experienced it many times. And I think it's not only that my first initial estimate was wrong, it's also that people are adding functionality and you don't get time to update your estimate correspondingly. So it's kind of, well, the scope is shifting and it's not managed properly there.
And managing scope is obviously a key thing. And I remember I attended a presentation many years ago that was really inspiring. It was the project management for the I think it's called combat management system for the Swedish jet fighter, the Griffin. And he was the project manager for that. And he said that the Material Defense Acquisition Board in Sweden, they came with various requests to them. And he had like 100 software and electronics engineers working, going full speed ahead. And then FMV, as they're called in Sweden, came back and said, couldn't we have this feature? And he said, we don't change anything until it has been completely evaluated what the consequences are and the contract has been signed. We don't stop 100 engineers because maybe you want to add a feature within a few weeks, or maybe not when we tell you how much it's going to cost. So they were just going full speed ahead. And I keep thinking of, I think it's Star Wars, or at least with Mel Brooks, I don't remember the name of the film, where the big starship comes by and say, we break for nobody. You need to have that mentality. We don't stop for various feature requests. We analyze them properly, and if the steering group commits to them, then we do them, but not before.
I think that's kind of interesting, because that draws my attention to agile development, because you kind of have, I think that assessment is done before work items goes into product backlog. So I think that is built in. By working agile, you might get some of these aspects built in, because you do an estimate before you drag them into the development part. But that's perhaps a story and a side discussion for another call.
It might be, but agile is interesting also. Again, it will be for another call, but the thing is, pure agile, you usually agree on a number of sprints, and you get what you've done when you've reached that number of sprints. Now, in the medical device industry, that might not be okay, because if you have not achieved basic safety and essential performance in those 10 sprints, you're going to have to do more sprints. So there is a built, like if it's a software or business software, you're going to have to say, you could say, well, the users are going to suffer a bit. We got to 10 sprints, and that's what we had money to do. And you got the features that we could do with 10 sprints. But in medical devices, it doesn't work that way. You can't say, well, you're going to die once in a while or get seriously injured, but we didn't have more sprints. We need to turn around the priorities there and say we need to achieve that minimum level, which is a built-in challenge in agile and medical devices. There are ways around it, obviously. You can work with hybrid solutions and just sprint more times, but it's still there.
I think that's all boils down to priority. But let's keep that discussion. I was just curious about your view.
Keep that for another call.
Yeah, I was just curious about why are projects late, basically. So I think you got some good inputs there.
Well, thank you. And I bet I have lots of more reasons in store, but we'll save them for another time.